Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Tier 10 American Premium Medium Tank, the M60. Now, the fun fact is that this was the first premium vehicle to ever come into World of Tanks Blitz at Tier 10. Pretty dang amazing. And while it did bring some controversy, I'm very happy that it did come into the game because I love the way this tank plays. It's kind of just like a better M48 Patton. Unlike the Patton, it carries 10 degrees of gun depression, one more. It's got a better gun on accuracy and aiming time at, I think, about 0.3 better on aiming time, and as well, the dispersion at 100 meters is about 0.01 better. Very, very impressive. So not only is it a decently accurate gun, it's also got more damage per minute, sitting at 3012 base. So for this vehicle being so old, when it first came into the game, it was absolutely great. It was, in fact, one of the most used tournament vehicles. They banned it from tournaments because people that received it, you actually couldn't buy it at the time. So the M60 really was a strong tank, and it definitely is still strong now. It's got that good turret armor, and one thing I always actually liked over the M60 compared to the Patton was the upper plate. You can see it's a bit of a flat plate compared to where the Patton is boat-shaped. Now, the boat-shaped hull on the Patton actually gives it a lot of bounces. That means that if you're using it or you're wiggling it correctly, you can see that that rounded design, which the Americans really like to do, gives it a lot of bounces. You can get some really funky auto ricochets depending on what angle you're shooting at, which is one really nice thing on the Patton. However, the M60, I was looking on Blitzinger like I normally do, just seeing what are being changed and other things like that. Well, as you can see, this is the current armor of update 7.4, the update where you're currently sitting on the M60. So looking at the upper plate flat, it's about 210 millimeters thick. It's really not going to bounce anything, of course. That means that all tier 10s and pretty much all tier 9s that are fully upgraded will easily be penetrating the upper plate on this vehicle, which makes sense. When you're using gun depression, yeah, you're going to struggle quite a bit to penetrate it, 340 millimeters, unless you're using premium shells, and of course, premium is going to have, unless it's APCR, a really hard time of penetrating that. That's a really, really good amount of armor. And I really didn't think the M60 ever needed a buff because it was a pretty well-balanced vehicle. However, you can see that the plate gets quite a bit stronger. Not only that, but it looks like on the lower plate as well. So if we take a look at the lower plate of the M60, it's about 156, about 174. Now, if we take a look at update 7.5 and what's going to be happening, well, first of all, the lower plate is going to be 200 millimeters at some spots. 200 millimeters at some spots on the lower plate. And looking at that upper plate, 260 millimeters thick. Yeah, you heard that right. The upper plate on the M60 is going to be about the same thickness as the WZ-113. And of course, because it's a tall vehicle, you'll probably be looking at it like this, so about 290. Now, as we saw, it was about 350 millimeters when you were using your gun depression before. Now, if you're using your gun depression on the M60, it's about 428. That's over a 70 millimeter increase on the upper plate armor. If you're using your gun depression and angling it correctly, 440. Like, that's ridiculous. You can't penetrate it. And honestly, I don't know why they did that. Now, the turret doesn't seem to be buffed. Actually, it does. I take that back. The turret cheeks on the vehicle were sitting at about 212 before. And if we take a look at after update 7.5, if we take a look at the cheeks, it's going to be about 220. So not only that, but the turret cheeks are going to be a little bit thicker. So oh boy, is the M60 going to be a strong tier 10 vehicle. So yeah, that is some crucial news that I really wanted to share with you guys, is the M60 is getting a buff, and a massive buff at that. I really didn't think that it was going to be getting such a large buff, and I just realized we are in a Blitz battle, and you guys can't really see it, so there you go. Now you should be able to see us loading into the game. But really, that's crazy that the M60 is going to be getting such a strong buff. I actually think that it will be one of the strongest tier 10 mediums in the game after they buff it. Like, that's ridiculous. Now, looks like the game's a little bit laggy, but it should hopefully catch up. Yeah. All right. So let's see what we're up against. We've got the FE 5B183, two Sheridans, not necessarily what I'm the biggest fan of, and as well an E5. So it's quite a deadly lineup. We definitely got to see how we can do. So let's take a look and see if we can get some nice shells into the enemy tanks. There is, in fact, a Sheridan, and there's a nice snap right into his vehicle. Now, the turret armor on this tank is fantastic. It actually gets a lot of bounces. One of the reasons why I do love the M60. That didn't really make sense, actually, why that bounced. E5 turret, side of the turret too. That's strange. All right, well, I guess we're just gonna back up here. So the M60 turret has actually got some really, really nice armor going for it. It's one thing I always liked about the turret armor, was that it can bounce a lot of shells. Nice shots as well coming from my T57 heavy there, but at an angle like this, I'm really not worried about this E5 being able to pen me. As you can see, again, using using that gun depression the tank has, able to tap another shell into the E5, and already sitting at about 1,000 damage on our pallet, which is pretty dang nice. Now we got the Sheridan right out in the open. Let's get a nice little snap at him. Of course, don't like my Sheridans too much, so yeah, I'm gonna try and shoot him every chance I get. Maybe a shot into the side of the 5A turret. Ooh, nice snap there. Not only that, but a max roll as well. That's gonna stop that 5A from maybe pushing as aggressive as he was before. Now, of course, he is kind of just staring at me, which is not necessarily what I like. I don't appreciate it too much. So maybe we can work. Yeah, there's not much we can do about that, but we do got like the E5 off to the side over here as well, the T57 Heavy we got a nice little snap into, and you can start to see what makes the M60 so strong. It's just the capabilities of this tank when you're hull down are crazy. We are just pumping out damage after damage after damage. It's got good DPM, it's got good alpha per shot, and that's why I absolutely love this tank, is the capabilities it has. Again, we have just pretty much broken the 3,000 damage barrier, and one more shell and we're going to be at 3,000 damage already, which is crazy. So we got like the T110E5, another max roll into the upper plate of his tank. And, well, yeah, he's not liking me too much. I can tell you that. Oof, that shell just going a little bit off. We got the WZ Lucky off to the side as well. We got that E5 there, and the Sheridan running all the way across. Let's see if we can nip a little shell in. Bounced on the Sheridan. Huh, I see how it is, Wargaming. Alright, well, you know what? There's plenty of more time to get out some more shells. We got, like, the 5A being a doof over there, and maybe we can get a shell into the side of the 57 turret. There you go. Nice snap. Hopefully our team's going to be able to hold out long enough so we can support them. We got the Sheridan. E5 pushing off into mid. There's a nice tap into the E5. Hopefully we can at least just get hull down here so that the enemy Sheridan cannot tap us. Let's aim in on his turret. There you go. Nice tap, and hopefully we should. Yes, he missed me, in fact, which is even better for me. So we got the 57 Heavy right out in the open. Let's get a nice tap. Oof. Unfortunate tap, actually, there. Not penetrating his vehicle, but we're going to see if we can do a good job here. There goes the T110E5, and we're doing a pretty good job as it is. We got the 5A out in the open. Let's shoot an HE, finishing him off. We got the Sheridan, we got the 57 Heavy, and the other Sheridan left on the enemy team. So, yeah, we've just done a fantastic job. As you can see, 4,200 damage picked up already, and this is why I love the M60. It's just such a strong tank on what the capabilities of it are, how much damage it can get out in a game. Let's finish off the 57 Heavy, huh? Let's retry that. Let's oh, I guess we're not going to be able to retry that. Oh, just not able to get that shell in the Sheridan. I didn't realize he was actually going to go for it because that 57 Heavy's right there, but you know what? We're going to see if we can get a shell into the Sheridan. There's one nice tap, and if we do this correctly, that Sheridan's going to be in one tough scenario trying to get away from us. So let's get that second shell in. There you go. He's running as quick as he can. We're almost at 5,000 damage already. Let's see if we can keep getting these shells out. There's another tap into you, and a nice little love tap as well, making him a one-shot. Don't you just love the M60? It's such a strong vehicle. I absolutely love everything about it. And this is just one really simple game we pulled out in it. I'm losing my mind. I was going to try and say 5,400, but for some reason 40 was coming into mind. But 5,800 damage there in one singular game. And it's strong. You can see that. And the capabilities of this tank hull down after this buff is going to be literally insane. So I would definitely suggest, now that they are buffing the vehicle, to get your hands on it when it comes out in the Blitz fair. It will probably be in the auctions, if the auctions come out. Actually, I haven't heard any news of them being in this year's Blitzer, but knowing Wargaming, every single year they've had auctions, so there's no way they're not going to do it. It's like the best and most lucrative part of them to make money, and as well, for you guys to get the best deals. And the M60, I actually think it might be the best vehicle to get your hands on, apart from like the AMX M4, but you're not going to be able to buy that in the auctions. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. It helps out the channel a crazy amount. But I'm just baffled why Wargaming would decide to buff such a strong tier 10 medium already. Like, this is one of my first vehicles, and I still have strong stats in it. It was like maybe like my 5th tier 10, and I got it for free, which was lucky for me. But, well, yeah, it's such a strong vehicle, and yeah, after they're buffing it, honestly, it's going to be immensely strong. Kind of like an E50M hull down, but with more gun depression and a good gun, and yeah, okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Keep up to date with, should I say, the news coming out to Blitz. But other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and to be seeing you in the next one.